quadratic graphs, x to the power of 2. Cubic graphs, x to the power of 3.
Okay.
We'll get to know these. Quadratic graph has a turning point. Cubic graph has 2 turning points.
Okay.
And so any idea how you would sketch these graphs?
Okay. Would you multiply everything in the brackets first?
There's a quicker way. What if it was
It's a simultaneous equation. Well, no, it wouldn't be that.
What if you were to solve this?
So would you just multiply them all? Or no?
No. How would you solve it?
Would you put the x's on both sides, the x on the left?
Kind of. X minus 2 equals 0. Or 1 minus x equals 0.
Oh, okay. So we just want x on both sides? Sorry, I mean like we just want x on the left of each one.
Yep.
Okay, so x is 2.
Mm-hmm.
X is minus 1. Is it minus x? It's minus 1.
Yeah. And so positive x is
1.
Yep.
And then x is minus 1.
And so in our graph, that was when y is 0. So we let the y be 0. And so that is, so when y is 0 is on the x-axis. And so we got 2, 1, and minus 1. There is a quick way to work out the y-intercept. You can multiply, so when you multiply out these brackets, at one point you will do these 3 times each other. Minus 2 times 1 times 1.
Yeah.
What would you get there?
Minus 1. Minus 2, sorry.
And so that will be when x is 0, y is minus 2. And so we would use that to sketch our graph. So it has to go through those points. And so it's going to look something like that.
Yeah.
So let's take a look. There we go. So minus 1, 1, 2, and then down at minus 2.
Yeah.
So try question B.
Okay. So for the first one, would you multiply everything in that bracket with x?
You said that for the previous one. There's a much quicker way.
Because it's an x. Oh, would you make them equal? So 0 equals x brackets x plus 1.
Yep. And if it helps, you can think of the first one as x plus 0.
Okay. Okay. And then so x equals 0. Is that one of them?
Yeah, and that is kind of a special one.
Okay. X equals minus 1 and x equals minus 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd multiply 0, 1 and 2, which would be 0.
Yep.
So y is 0.
Yep. And so, what points do we know are on the graph?
0, -1, and -2 for x.
So that's 0. Hang on, let me do a bit better. That's 0, -1 and -2. And what's the y-intercept?
0.
Yeah, and so that's going to end up, I think, going like that. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there it is, -2, -1, 0. Great. Yeah, so you let y be 0, solve for x. Let x be 0, solve for y. Any questions there?
No.
So you did that one quite well. Okay, let's try these.
Okay. So would the first bracket be written out as 0 equals x -1 and then x -1 again?
Yep.
So would you multiply the brackets together or still or no?
Still don't need to.
Okay. So it'd be 0 equals x -1 and 0 equals x -1. Okay. So the first one would be x is 1, x is 1 again, and then x is -1.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd multiply the -1 and the -1, which make 1, and then multiply by 1, which is 1. So the y-intercept is 1.
Yep. And so how do we sketch that?
So when it says there's 2x equals 1, would there just be 1x equals 1, right?
Yeah.
So you put x 1 on the graph, and then on the x-axis -1 as well,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the y-axis 1.
There is a little trick to this though. If you went through with your cubic, it would end up looking like a quadratic, like that.
Yeah.
The trick is whenever it is squared, it bounces off it. So the squared one gave us a solution of 1. So when we hit that one, it bounces like that.
Okay.
And there it is there. So -1, it goes through the axis, but +1, it bounces off.
Yeah.
And y-intercept of 1. Okay, let's try B. This one isn't.
Okay.
This is, yeah, how do we do this one?
Could you put it into the calculator?
Yep.
Okay. So it'd be 1x cubed -2x squared -3x 0. So x1. So the first x is 3. The second one is -1, and the third one is 0.
Okay.
And then for the y-intercept, you just multiply the numbers together.
Yep.
So it'd be 0.
It'd be 0, yep.
So the y-intercept is 0. And then you draw the graph out.
Yep.
So on the x-axis there'd be 3, -1 and 0.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the y-axis there'll be 0.
Mm-hmm.
So when you draw it, it goes up, and then it goes up from 1. It goes from the minus up to the 1, and then down through the origin,
Mm-hmm.
and then back up again through 3 and all the way up.
Yeah. There it is there. -1, 0, 3. Great. That one's a bit weird. Let me see this one. Oops. Nah, I'm not doing a weird one. Do I even have the answer for it? No, I don't. Okay. You did pretty good there. Let's see. I just want to see exam question. I think you'd be fine. Alright. How about this? And before we do this, okay, exam question. How about
Okay.
this?
So for the first one, you could put it into the calculator.
Yep.
So it'd be 1x cubed plus 8x squared plus 16x. So x1 minus 4 is minus 4. x2 is 0. And x3, no, it's only 2.
X equals minus 4 or...
X equals 0.
Okay, so they want you to factorize it. Any idea how to factorize it?
Would you add 4 on both sides?
Correct.
So it'd be 4x equals 0.
X plus 4.
Okay, x plus 4 equals 0. And then would you minus x?
No, so that means one of the brackets would be x plus 4.
Oh, right. So you want the other bracket from the x equals 0?
Yeah, what would that one be?
That would just be x.
Yep, so I'll just put that at the front. X. So that gives us a quadratic. We need to get this. Any idea what we're missing?
Are we missing another x?
They'd have to multiply out to make 16x.
So you need 4x.
We need another x plus 4.
Okay.
The reason why we didn't see it here is because it was the same one twice. It's essentially x plus 4 squared.
Okay. So that makes 16x.
And if you were to fully expand that out, you would get x cubed plus 8x squared plus 16x.
Okay.
And it's kind of a special case, I suppose. Question B.
Okay. So we've already got x1 and x2, which is minus 4 and 0. So then you just add them together, which would be minus 4 for the y-axis.
Minus 4 for the x-axis, I believe.
Yeah, and 0.
Yeah. And go on.
Would you just add minus 4 and 0 to get the y-axis?
Multiply them.
So it'd be 0.
Yeah.
So it goes down from the minus below 4 and then through 4, through the origin and back up.
It doesn't go... So if it went like that,
Yeah.
through the origin and then back up, that would create an extra root that we don't have.
Oh. So would it go straight down?
The
But if it was straight down, it would go into a quadratic.
x plus 4, correct? So if it went like that, that would be a quadratic.
Yep.
The minus 4 solution came from x plus 4, which is squared. What happens when it's squared?
It bounces back up.
Yeah, so it bounces off that, and then it has to go like that.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was great. So that's what it looks like. Minus
Okay.
4, 0. It bounces off, it comes back. Yeah, great. And it's kind of a special case as well because it's a square bracket. Any questions about that?
Nope.
Okay. This one. Why did they keep giving me these? Alright, it's maybe not the most special. Okay, let's try this one.
Okay. So put into the calculator minus 4x cubed. Add. Would it be 0x squared?
Yeah, well done.
Okay. And then it'd be plus 25x, which gives you x1 is 5 over 2, or 2.5.
Yeah.
x2 is minus 5 over 2, or minus 2.5. And x3 is just 0.
Okay.
And then we minus 2.5 on both sides.
Yeah.
So it'd be x minus 2.5 equals 0.
Yeah. Any idea what that's about?
So what do we need to use 2.5 to get?
Because we're factorizing, you can't have a fraction or decimal. So what would you have to do to turn it into a whole number?
Multiply it.
Yeah. Multiply by what?
2.
Yeah. Times everything by 2 to keep everything equal.
Okay. So would x be 2x, or do we 2 brackets x?
Correct. Same
2x.
same thing. 2x.
Okay.
2 bracket x.
And then minus 5.
Yeah.
Equals 0.
Yeah.
And then it would be 2x. Would it be 2x open brackets minus 5? Or would it be?
For this first one, is it?
Yeah.
So the bracket would be 2x minus 5.
Okay.
And now we need to get the other brackets.
Okay. Okay, so for the second one it'd be... So we multiply everything by 2.
Yeah.
Oh, no, first we add them. We add minus 5 over 2 to both sides.
Yeah, okay. It doesn't matter the order. Yeah.
Okay. 0. And then we divide by times by 2 on both sides. So it'd be 2x add 5 equals 0. So the bracket would be brackets 2x add 5 close brackets. And then the last one is just x.
Yeah. And that's part A done. Part B, hence sketch.
Okay. So would y be 0?
So when y is 0, sure.
Okay.
That's the x-axis.
So it'd be 2.5. So the first one would be 2.5.
Okay.
The second one would be minus 2.5. The third one would just be 0.
Yep.
And then would the y be 0 as well?
Yep.
So would it just go up to minus 2.5 and back down through the origin and then back straight up through 2.5?
Well done.
Okay.
Great. There we go. Yep. Oh, no. Okay, so there's something that I didn't say up until now, and we did pretty well without it. Let me just go back.
Okay.
This one here is positive. Let's do it as plus. Something x cubed. This one here will be a negative something x cubed. Maybe I'll just put an a. Positive ax cubed. This one is negative ax cubed. So this one starts top left. This one starts
Yeah.
bottom left.
So is ours positive?
Our one was negative.
Negative. What were the other two graphs?
They let me just go back. Like they just kind of worked out for us. So this one down here, because we had a negative x, that would expand to be negative x cubed.
Yeah.
This one would expand to be a positive x cubed. So this one is starting top left. This one is starting bottom left.
Okay.
So this one positive starts bottom left, positive bottom left. And then this one was positive x cubed. And so it started bottom left.
Okay.
This one, however, we have the minus 4x cubed. And so that's going to start top left.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's the cubic equivalent of the way with a quadratic. If it's positive, it's happy face. Negative, sad face.
Okay.
Bottom right, positive. Sorry, bottom left, positive. Top left, negative. Any question with that one?
So how is it when it says minus x squared is x cubed? Does that mean it's negative?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it doesn't matter about like the x squared. That doesn't matter if it's minus or plus.
Now all the other won't change that element of the shape.
Okay.
So this one is working in reverse, is it? All right, we better do it. How about this one?
Okay. Okay. So we know it's positive.
Yeah, it's positive x cubed. So they told us it was x cubed anyway. We need to find
Oh yeah. Yeah.
B, C, and D.
So we know that 1 is the x cubed
Mm-hmm.
on the graph, so we don't need that one. So x cubed add b. And then would x squared be minus 2.
Well, we have to. I would try to write it in brackets first.
Okay.
So any idea how you'd write this graph in brackets?
So it'd be brackets x equals 0 and the brackets x equals minus 3.
So yeah. So x, I'm trying to do blue. X equals 0.
Yeah.
X equals minus 3.
Yeah. And x equals minus 2.
Actually, there is no x equals 0. It doesn't go through the origin. There's a different.
Oh, sorry, x equals 1.
Yeah. Okay.
And then would you factorize it?
Yeah.
Okay. So it'd be x minus 1 equals 0, x plus 3 equals 0, and x plus 2 equals 0.
Mm-hmm.
And then would the brackets be x minus 1,
Mm-hmm.
x plus 3, and x plus 2?
X plus 2. Yep. And so they want it in this form.
So do we multiply everything in the brackets?
Yeah. And
Okay.
do you know how to expand 3 brackets?
Yeah. You just multiply everything, right?
So what I recommend is you multiply the last 2 first.
Yeah. Okay.
And just kind of makes it a bit more familiar.
Okay. So I got x squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 6, which would simplify down to 5x, x squared plus 5x plus 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then you multiply the last bracket.
Mm-hmm.
X by everything. Okay. So would it be x cubed, add 5x squared, add 6x minus x squared, minus 5x minus 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd simplify that down to minus x squared, x plus, add, and then minus. So would it be x cubed plus 4x squared plus x minus 6?
Yep.
Okay.
And so what is B, C, and D?
B would be 4x squared.
Just
And
4?
C would be just 4, and C would be 1 or x, and then D would be minus 6.
Yeah. C is 1. It's just the number in front of X. Question B.
Okay. Would it be minus? Oh wait, it would be 0, comma minus 6.
Well done. I wanted it as a coordinate. You gave it as a coordinate. B is 4, C is 1, D is minus 6, and so 0 minus 6. Fantastic. Any questions there?
No.
So this is great. Let me see. This one. Yeah, alright. It's not so simple. Okay, let's give this a go.
Okay. So it'll be written out as x equals minus 1, x equals 2, and x equals 3.
Yeah.
And then it'll be written out as brackets x plus 1, brackets x minus 2, x brackets x minus 3.
Yeah. What do you get when you multiply the numbers out?
Okay.
For the
Like
one?
when you expand them.
Yeah, but just the number bit. So
Okay.
just
Multiply all of them together.
yeah.
Okay. 6.
So you get 6, but this here is a 2. So how do we deal with that?
Do we divide everything by 3?
So that would be put a third at the front, times everything by a third. But they say that it isn't 1x cubed, that it's something x cubed. Is that a trick? Let me take a look. It's just a third. Okay. Yeah, so it's just a third, and you just fully expand that and then multiply everything by a third.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and that's equal to y. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was just a little extra trick where
Yeah.
it should be 6, but you'd have to divide by 3, and so times by a third is the same thing.
Okay. So when you do those questions, do you always check before you answer it when you after you factorize them? Do you check if they're equal to the y-axis?
Well, with this one I didn't because it's 1x cubed, and
Okay.
so that's going to work out. Here it was something x cubed, and so I did check.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea to always check.
Yeah.
It should make the y-intercept. If it doesn't, then you have to make it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Exam question. How about this?
Okay. Would it be because why did he put a square on the x minus 6? Is that
Uh,
supposed to be right?
I think it is supposed to be right because that x minus 6 bracket came from the plus 6 answer. And what did the graph do at the plus 6 one?
It went up.
Yeah, kind of bounced off it. And so I think that part is fine.
Okay.
Um,
It'll be written out as x plus 6 and then x minus 6 and then x minus 6 again.
yeah. So I think for these, it's usually easier to do B first. So just find the correct equation yourself.
Okay.
So yeah, like you said, it's x minus 6, x plus 6, x plus 6. Does that work for this coordinate? Minus 2, 32.
No, I don't think it does because 36 times 6 is 216. And that's not the y-axis, the y-intercept. Is it?
So they don't give us the y-intercept. Uh, so when x is minus 2, what do you get?
X is minus 2. Minus 2. So should I work that out?
Yeah.
Minus 2. You get 4 multiplied by minus 8 multiplied by minus 8.
Yep.
Which would be minus 60. Minus 500, minus 256.
I think it's plus 256. Minus 8 times
Oh yeah,
minus 8.
sorry, yeah, plus 256.
What did they get when x was minus 2? What should it be?
They got 216.
In this coordinate?
32.
So when x is minus 2, they got 32. So what would we have to do to our equation so that instead of getting 256, we get 32?
Yeah. So we divide it by a certain number.
Yeah.
So it's 256 divided by 7. 256. No.
You can do 256 divided by 32.
256. Oh, you can divide it by 8.
Divide by 8 works, does it?
Yeah.
And
You can do
so
32.
How does that change our equation?
So would it change the end of it? So it would be y.
In our previous one, we should have gotten 6, but it was actually 2. How did we deal with that?
Divided that by a third.
So we,
We'll multiply it by a third.
yeah. And so this one,
Multiply it by an eighth.
that's it. And so what mistake did they make?
They forgot to multiply it by an eighth.
Yeah. And actually, it should be an eighth. But yeah, you're right. They got the signs mixed up, I think, did they?
I think so.
Or maybe we did. Let's take a look. So you expand it. So it should be an eighth. And then when you expand it, you get there. So they assume that the coefficient of x cubed is 1 when it isn't. Yeah, so it should be... I'll just write it that way. I think the plus and minus, is it the other way around? So if that's x equals 6, then when you put in the bracket, it becomes x minus 6. Yeah, so it's the x minus 6 that's there twice. And the x plus 6 that's there once.
Yeah.
We get the same thing. Yeah, so they assumed that it would be 1x cubed, but it's actually 1 over 8 x cubed. The correct equation of the curve. And they want it like that, so you would just have to fully expand the brackets, multiply the last two, then by the third one, and then times everything by 8.
Yeah.
Any question? And then you get it in this form.
Yeah.
Any questions there?
No.
So let me see. This
Actually,
one.
no, I have a question.
Yeah.
For that question, how did they get 216 on the right for the end?
I think they did 6 times 36.
Okay. Is that wrong then?
6 times 6 times 6. But they made a bunch of mistakes.
Oh, okay. That's why then.
Yeah. So, and that's why for these student questions, it tends to be easier to just get the correct answer.
Yeah.
And then just show what they did wrong.
Yeah.
Let's see. This one is an easier type, I think. Yeah. Excuse me. This is the same thing. Okay, so now let me go back. Because I skipped just for extra exam practice for that one. This was the one. How do we do this?
Okay. So it would be written out as x equals 1, and then the other one would be...
Yep.
So the first one would be x equals 1. First bracket.
Yep.
And then... Okay, so you do... So would it be minus x squared minus 2? X equals minus x squared minus 2.
I would probably just put it in a calculator.
Oh yeah. And that'll give you two numbers, right?
Yep.
Okay. So it'd be 1x squared plus 1x plus 2. So wait. 1x squared plus 1x plus 2. They gave me an imaginary number.
Ah,
It gave me minus 1 plus square root of 7i over 2.
okay, so we'll just have to. So there's no more roots, basically.
Yeah.
So how would we go about sketching this one?
So would there only be one root,
Yeah,
which is x is 1?
yeah.
Then how do you work out y?
Y-intercept, you do the multiply the numbers, so the ones that there are no x's.
Oh yeah. So it'd be minus 2.
Yeah, so the y is -2. And what shape will the graph be? What type of cubic is it?
Yeah. Would it? Hmm. Would it
Uh,
just go up from the y intercept and then bounce off the x?
it doesn't bounce because it's not a square bracket. It just goes
Okay.
like that. Yeah. If you multiply x by x squared, you get a positive x cubed.
Yeah.
And so it's starting bottom left.
Yeah.
There it is. -2, 1. So that one only had one root. Yeah. Any questions there?
No.
So strange. Okay, how would we do 3a?
Okay. So we know the first one is x is 2, and then we put the rest into the calculator.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be 1x cubed plus 1x plus. Yeah, so there's no roots again.
Okay.
So the graph would look like CD. So it'd be -6 for the y-intercept,
Yep.
and then the x, there's only one x, so it'd be 2. So it'd go up to -6 and then through 2, and that's all.
Yep. And there we go. We don't know its exact shape, but yep.
Yeah.
Great. And so there was the exam question we did.
Yeah.
So this is an exam question. We're good. Good. Okay. Hang on, let me take a look at this. Yep, let's try this one.
Okay. Okay. So you just expand the brackets? Oh, you
Yep.
can't?
Yep.
Wait, can you? You can? Okay. So do we just leave the 12x till the end?
Yeah.
Okay. When x multiplies by -2x, that makes -3x, right?
You're thinking of adding and subtracting. Multiplying changes the power.
Oh, sorry, -2x squared.
Yep.
Okay. So it'd be x squared minus 2x squared.
X cubed.
Oh, sorry,
Minus.
yeah, x cubed. X cubed minus 2x squared minus 10x squared plus 20x plus 12x.
Yep.
Which would simplify down to x cubed minus 12x squared add 32x.
Yep.
And then you'd want to factorize it. Is that right?
So part A wants to factorize out just x.
Okay.
So if you factorize out just x, what do you get?
Uh, so would it just be x squared
Yeah.
minus 12x
Mm-hmm.
plus 32?
Yeah.
Okay. And then it wants it factorized completely.
Yep.
So is that just getting everything out of the bracket?
Yep. Just fully factorize into brackets.
Okay. So would there be 3 brackets?
I believe that the x is one thing, and then there'll be this one will become 2 because this is quadratic.
Okay. So would it just be x minus 12x and x plus 32? Or would that be wrong?
It would be calculator.
Okay. Wait, I put it into the calculator.
So put the quadratic into the calculator.
Okay. So, okay, so x1 is 8, x2 is 4. So it'd be written out as x brackets x equals 0. Oh, 8 equals 0. X equals 0, sorry.
Well, if x equals 8, then what would be equal to 0?
Minus 8.
X minus 8.
So would that mean the bracket?
Yeah.
Okay. And the other one would be x minus 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well done. And then question C, sketch.
Okay. Okay. So we know that the two x's are 8 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
That means the y is 32.
The y would be the number that has no x when it's fully expanded. And there is no number with no x.
So it'd be 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever you have an x on the outside by itself, that's like x plus 0.
Okay.
So it'll be all the numbers times 0.
Okay. And the cube is not a minus, so it'd be going from the bottom left.
Correct.
Up through 4, down through 0, and then up through 8.
So roughly like that.
Yeah.
And there it is. Great. Whew. Yeah, so you factorize out. So, sorry, expand, add in the 12x,
Yeah.
fully simplify, and then factorize out the x, then fully factorize using the calculator, and then sketch using let x be 0, find y, let y be 0, find x.
Yeah.
Any questions there?
Nope.
Okay. Hey, great. So cubic graphs, what do you give yourself?
Probably a tick. It was pretty easy.
Oh, that's good. I hate sketching these things. Quartic graphs. It's x to the power of 4, but it's
Okay.
it's basically more of the same once you know that one. So quadratic graph, x to the power of 2, cubic graph to the power of 3, quartic graph to the power of 4. Quadratic graph, 1 turning point, cubic graph, 2 turning points, and now you have a quartic graph which can have 3 turning points. 1,
Okay.
2, 3. Okay, sketch these curves.
Okay. So the first one would be x minus 1.
Yep. X equals minus 1.
Okay, x equals minus 1. Next one would be x equals minus 2, then x equals 1 and x equals 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then you draw out the graph. And then you need, is there a y-intercept, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you do all of them multiplied together.
Yep.
So it'd be minus 1 multiplied by minus 2 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 2, which gives you 4.
So y-intercept of 4, and because x power 4, it's now an even number again, so it's like the quadratic. If it's positive, it's top left.
Yeah. So it's positive, so it'd start top left.
Yeah. And so
It goes down and then up through minus 1, and then all the way up through the y-intercept, and then back down again, and then up again.
yeah,
Okay.
well done. Okay, I have a B.
Okay. So it'd be the first one. Would one of them be x equals 0?
Yep.
Okay. And then another one would be x equals minus 2, and then another one would be x equals minus 2, and then the other one would be uh, minus x equals 3, minus 3.
Yep.
So would that be right?
Yep. Minus x equals minus 3. So x equals?
3.
Yep. It's like 3 equals x. X
Yeah.
equals 3.
And then you work out the y-intercept.
Yep.
Okay. So it'd be 0.
It'd be 0.
And then you plot everything, all the x's on the graph. So one of them is 0, minus 2. So would it? It's negative this time.
Correct?
So start in the bottom left.
Yep.
So it go. So how? One.
This squared does something.
Oh, it bounces it.
Yep.
So would it bounce on the minus 2?
Yep.
So it'd go up, bounce on the minus 2, go through 0, up, and then back down again.
Well done.
Okay.
So it should look like that. Let's take a
Yeah.
look. So that was our first one. And there we go. So bounces minus 2, comes down, goes up. There we go.
Yeah.
And let's try C. So I always do all the example ones.
Yeah.
Because it's never the same thing twice.
Okay, so this time it's x. One of them is x equals 1, and then x equals 1, and then x equals 3, and x equals 3,
Mm-hmm.
and then the y-intercept is 9.
Well done.
I guess it's 9. Then you plot them on the graph, so it'd be 1, 3, and then it's positive,
Mm-hmm.
so it goes down all the way. Wait, no, it can't do that. Would it? Would it start on the right of the graph?
You could think about it that way if you wanted to. I would just start top left.
Okay. But it's not. There's no root on the left,
It can always do that.
so it can always start through the y-intercept. Like
But
it can go through to start with. It doesn't have to go through a root on the
yeah,
x-axis. Okay. So it'd go through there. It'd go to 1, and then it'd bounce, and then go to 3, and then it'd bounce back up.
well done. So it makes that W shape. There we go.
Mhm.
Yeah. Any questions there?
No.
So Quartic is kind of almost easier than cubic. I just want to see what the. So maybe that's worth doing next time. But yeah, other than that, so what would you give yourself a Quartic so far?
Tick.
So I think you'll probably get
Easy.
through it very quickly. Yeah, I think you'll probably get through it quickly. So next will be reciprocal graphs. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, how was that for you, Adam?
That was pretty easy this time.
Hey, that's good. I find it very difficult to teach sketching graphs, especially on the computer.
Yeah.
Any questions for me in general?
No.
All right, well done, Adam. You did great.
Thank you.
I look forward to talking to you again next time.
You too. Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.
You too.